Hello, the Twilight Saga. Whether you love it, hate it, or love to hate it, there's no denying its cultural impact. Today I'm going to be talking about why I think the Twilight Saga is one of the best book series out there. The Twilight Saga defined an era of YA fiction and gave us some of the most iconic moments in modern pop culture. But beyond the memes and the glittering vampires, Twilight actually has a lot going for it. And today I'm breaking down why Twilight is actually great. Yes, really. Let's get right into why the Twilight Saga is so amazing. I'm lucky to have all of the physical books. Number one is a rich literary heritage. One of the things that makes Twilight so compelling is it's actually full of deep literary references. For example, Bella Swan isn't just a teenage girl who's obsessed with a sparkly vampire. She's also obsessed with Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre, two classic gothic novels featuring Byronic heroes. Byronic heroes comes from a description given by Lord Macaulay, who described this hero as a man proud, moody, cynical, with defiance on his brow and misery in his heart, yet capable of deep and strong affection. And let's be real, Edward Cullen fits perfectly into that mould. He's proud, moody, cynical, dramatic, but deeply devoted. So what gives Twilight its depth is that it actually has a lot of literary references, which makes it so interesting. We even see echoes of Romeo and Juliet. So Edward and Bella literally study it in class, which foreshadows the whole dramatic forbidden love thing. And don't forget the epigraphs in each book. For example, Robert Frost's Fire and Ice in the start of Eclipse. It's right there, so you can see, which hints at the themes of passion and destruction. Stephanie Meyer knew exactly what she was doing. And I just have to say, Eclipse is my favourite one, mainly because Jasper's my favourite character. So the second reason why Twilight is so great is that it literally created its own genre. Before Twilight, teenage vampire romance was not a thing. Sure, you had Dracula, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer had a human vampire love story, but Twilight exploded the genre into mainstream YA, and so many books and films followed. Some good, some not so good, but you can't deny there's lots. I remember going to a bookshop once, just a couple of years after Twilight had been released, and there was literally a shelf in the YA section that was specifically called Vampire Romance. Like, it filled up an entire bookshelf. If you're curious, I'll link a list of great YA vampire romance novels. So basically, Twilight paved the way. So another thing that makes this series so good is the dreamy prose. People love mocking Twilight's writing, and to be honest, sometimes it deserves it, but let's be honest, Stephanie Meyer knows how to write an addictive book. It's fast-paced and clear, but it never dumbs down the language for teenage readers. I mean, who else learned the word irrevocably from that iconic line, "I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him"? Another reason why I think it's so good is that it gives a teenage girl's perspective on sexuality. Unlike so many other YA novels at the time, the good thing about Twilight is that it explores female sexuality from Bella's point of view and not through the male gaze. She's the one who's pushing for intimacy, she's the one who's making the choices, and she's definitely not just an innocent angelic girl waiting for Prince Charming. For example, there's this quote from Eclipse which I think is really powerful. "I'll marry you, I'll let you pay for Dartmouth, and I won't complain about the bribe to get me in. You can even buy me a fast car if that makes you happy. Just please." Bella knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to go after it. And the next reason why Twilight's so good is actually it's disarmingly funny. People love to make Twilight memes, and I love Twilight memes too. There are so many good ones, and so many new ones, surprisingly. But some people forget that Twilight makes fun of itself as well, and there is a sense of humour in the books. The dialogue is hilarious, sometimes unintentionally, but sometimes definitely on purpose. For example, some quotes that I really like. Edward is so sassy. He says, "Your hair looks like a haystack, but I like it." There's the Cullens, who always drop these iconic one-liners. "It sounded like you were having Bella for lunch, and we came to see if you would share." And of course, we cannot forget the gold from the movies, like "Hold on tight, Spider Monkey," "My Monkey Man," and the iconic "What's up, Arizona? How you liking the rain, girl?" They just don't make dialogue like that anymore, and it definitely at least makes for a good t-shirt or mug, of which there are definitely many. And I guess when we're talking about Twilight, we have to talk about representation. That is one of the big flaws of the book. The way it deals with representation isn't good. Twilight probably is as problematic as it is good, but it is iconic. Is Twilight perfect? No. But does it deserve more credit than it gets? Absolutely. What makes it special is that it's a book that introduced so many people back into reading. It created an entire genre, and it gave us some really iconic memes and quotes. Twilight is one of my favourite novels, and it's actually my sister's favourite book ever, and she's an English literature student at university, so when she tells people that Twilight's her favourite book, she always gets lots of strange looks. So if you are a Twilight fan already, then give me your favourite ridiculous quote or scene from the books, and if you're not, well, that's okay as well. Thank you so much, happy reading, I'll see you in the next video.